Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Jodie if you haven't been here before. So it is the 23rd of August today and we're getting very close to the end of winter here in Australia, and I thought it was the perfect time to take you for a bit of a garden tour. I thought that we would start up here at the herb planter. So it is doing really well. We have the thyme, sage, parsley, oregano, more parsley, chives, a little bit more parsley, and then a row of spring onions in here. These are ones that I bought from the grocery store and then just put the bottoms back in, and these are ones that we started from seed. These are red bunching onions. So the parsley is in a cycle of getting destroyed by the possum and then regrowing to about this stage and then getting destroyed by the possum again. So definitely have not won that battle, but oh well. We're getting enough parsley through that we can use it if we need. We've got some more pretty flowers in pots there. And I'm hoping to turn these pots here into mint and lemongrass once I get some, but I haven't done that yet. And we've got all of our seedlings here that are still waiting to go in. Some of them are getting very big. We've got mostly flowers in this one, plus some artichokes. And these red ones are, I think they're Alternifera, and I've grown those from cuttings. We're hoping to put them in the front garden. And then we've got all sorts of veggies and things like that. I wanted to show you these planters. We put these together on a video a little while ago now, and they are my self-watering hanging baskets. I am so impressed. These snapdragons look so healthy and amazing, and then you compare them to ones that are just over here, which are just not looking as crash hot. And the difference is, I'm pretty sure that these ones are getting constant water. So at the moment they are probably needing to be filled up once a week. I imagine as the heat increases that will need to be done more regularly, but yeah, really thrilled with them so far. These snapdragons won't last for too much longer because of the heat that's coming, but they're beautiful at the moment. We're out in the front garden at the moment, and I just wanted to show you this David Austin rose. It's the Evelyn rose, and I just wanted to show you that it has re-sprouted for the year after our pruning, and it is looking beautiful. Can't wait to see some beautiful flowers on that this year. Down here at the chicken coop now, as you can see, we've put the top rail on. It still needs to be painted, but we are really thrilled with how this is all working at the moment. The chickens are really happy and they're eating all of our scraps, which is amazing. They're still only pullets at the moment, so they haven't started laying, but I'm sure that's not far away. All of these garden beds that we weeded together are still looking really good. I need to get in and do a little bit of further weeding, particularly around each of the plants that we've recently planted, because where we've disturbed the soil, all the little weeds are coming up. So that's a job to get done in the next couple of weeks before the spring heat really takes these weeds to the next level. We're now down in the vegetable garden. So we've come down like 2 terraces from where the chicken coop is, which is up there. And this is where we have 4 raised garden beds. And the garden is currently between its winter and spring summer crops. So we have things like this bolted lettuce here, which I am going to feed to the chickens. We still have our snow peas and sugar snap peas in that are doing really well. We've still got some broccoli, but they're all going to be starting to transition out, and we're going to be getting our spring and summer things in. We've already got some beans planted. We have some zucchinis and cucumbers and things ready to go. Actually have some cucumbers that are doing great already. So I'm going to take you now bed by bed and have a look at everything that is growing in there. Firstly, before we go through the vegetable garden beds, I thought I would show you this Mr. Stacky planter. It has got some Asian greens in it, which are doing really well. A bit of lettuce down the bottom, and then we have strawberries. Ultimately, this is going to be completely a strawberry planter, but I didn't have quite enough strawberries to fill it all out. So we have put some Asian greens in. But as you can see, we have our first strawberry starting to ripen, which is very exciting. This is the first of the raised garden beds. Like I said, it's got snow peas at the top here. We're getting lots and lots of snow peas off still, which is awesome. Then we've got some bolted lettuce here, which I have already fed some of that to the chickens, and the rest of it will go to the chickens as well. A bit more of the Asian greens. I think this is a mustard of some sort. It will honestly probably go to the chickens. And then we've got our broccoli here. These are the ones that escaped the aphid infestation. I need to go back through actually and do another check on them to make sure that they're still clear. We harvested this one this week, and as you can see, we've got little side shoots starting, which is great. This one got destroyed by the cockatoos very early on, so I'm surprised it's developed anything. So that one I don't think is going to get a big head, but we can certainly eat that little one. We have a volunteer tomato here, which has grown quite large before I realised. So I think I'm going to actually transplant that down to where I've got the other tomatoes down in that last garden bed. I think this first garden bed is going to become mostly zucchinis, and then I'll have something going up this trellis behind them. Not sure what that's going to be yet. I'll have to have a look at my seeds and see what I've got. Probably some sort of bean or something. So we have one zucchini in here already, but it's pretty well at the end of its life. So I think I'll be pulling that out when I take the rest of these out and putting all new zucchinis in. Here's a look at the zucchini that is growing in here though. It has a couple of fruit down there, but they just haven't been developing into much. It's been dealing with a lot of powdery mildew. I did do a powdery mildew treatment with potassium bicarbonate on this yesterday. I think I might have mixed it up a little bit too strong because it does seem to have damaged a bit of the leaves. But I do think it has reduced the amount of powdery mildew. Yeah, because I mean, even these ones that have the white on them, they don't look like they're quite as vibrant. So I don't know. We'll keep trying it and see if it can help. I might just have to modify the ratio because I was kind of guessing and I think I might have made it too strong. So if we come across to this second bed, we have more broccoli. I'll just take the netting off. This netting is here to keep the cockatoos away because they like to destroy broccoli. So we have a very sad looking patty pan squash down here. I don't think it's going to do anything. It might just need to come out. I had previously planted another zucchini right in that same spot, and it also just kind of shriveled up and died. So it might be something to do with that spot. I'm going to plant something different there next and see what happens. Actually, this whole bed is going to become the capsicum and chili bed. So it will be interesting to see once we plant a capsicum or chili there, what happens. Sorry for the harsh sunlight. I am filming this during my son's nap. It's basically try and get things done whenever you have the opportunity at the moment. But yeah, there's a couple of nice broccoli heads there developing, so we'll be able to harvest those soon, and hopefully we'll get some side shoots as well. The rest of the things in this bed, we've got some Australian yellow lettuce down here. It's a little bit more of a heat tolerant variety, although it does kind of look like it's bolting. Anyway, which not surprising, we are at 29 degrees today, which is quite warm for lettuce. We've got some carrots in here. More lettuce. This is Little Gem. It seems to be doing quite well actually. Potentially even better than the supposedly more heat tolerant yellow leaf, and to be honest, I like this much better anyway. On the end we have 3 California Wonder capsicums that have actually made it through the winter, which is quite surprising considering we get down to 0 and even into the negative. So we've got a couple of fruit on here. I've bagged 2 of them to protect against the Queensland fruit fly. I'm going to need to come in and actually put a couple more bags on because we've got a few more fruit on here, which is awesome. And then in one of our last videos, we actually planted these 3 cucumber plants, and it looks like we have got our first cucumber developing. My daughter loves cucumber, so I'm sure she will devour any that come off these plants. The leaves are looking a little bit crusty as well. I hit them with potassium bicarbonate yesterday. They were starting to get a little bit of powdery mildew. Looks like it's cleared up the powdery mildew pretty good, but it does look like it's burned the leaves slightly. So yes, need to look at that ratio when I'm mixing it. Be a little bit more careful. So yes, we're going to continue with the capsicums all the way through this bed. Put in a couple of chilies as well. We don't need a huge amount of chilies in this house, but I will put a couple in, so we've got them as well. If we turn around here, we've got our tall black planter here that we planted out together in a video. So in this tall black planter, we've got the 3 Cherry Falls tomatoes that we planted together in a video. As you can see, they've all started to flower, so it won't be long and we will have our first fruit developing on these, which is super exciting. So these are supposed to be trailing tomatoes. So I guess they're going to get to a certain point and then they'll start flopping over. And my thought is that they will then drape down the sides of this really tall pot. We'll see how that goes. In the middle, we have our leeks, which have grown a heap since they got in here, so I'm really pleased with that. And then we go down to the third bed. In this third bed, we have the start of our bean bed for spring and summer. We planted together in a video some Royal Burgundy bush beans. They're in this section here, interplanted between the spinach. Down there, we also have some Cherokee wax bush beans. In the middle, we have some beetroot, which are still growing out. They look like they're starting to bulb out, so hopefully we won't be too far off getting those harvested. Then we've got some rainbow silver beet here, which is doing really, really well, despite getting constantly attacked by cockatoos and probably possums. I did have this covered with the same bird netting as I've been covering the broccolis with, and I think it was working a bit better, but I wanted to try and get something a bit more nice looking, so I put this over it. However, today I've noticed that they have definitely been able to get into it through here, so we might just put the ugly bird netting back on. We have a golden zucchini here, which has also been attacked overnight by something, which is kind of annoying. Just not having good luck with the zucchini. I never seem to, which is very frustrating. Interesting as well, we planted these 2 beans differently. So this bean here was started inside and then transplanted out here. Those beans were pre-sprouted and then put into the dirt here to actually germinate. And there's not a huge amount of difference between them. These ones probably have a couple more sets of leaves than those ones. They came up a little bit later than these ones here. I thought these ones might get a bit more shock, but it doesn't seem to be happening. So it's going to be an interesting experiment to watch. There are also 2 different varieties of beans, so that's going to have some impact on growth rate and that. I actually think this is a shorter days to maturity by possibly like 10 days or something. So to make it a real comparison, I should have done 2 sets of the same bean, but anyway. On this trellis, we have the sugar snap peas, which we absolutely love, to the point that we're not going to grow the snow peas next time. We're only going to grow the sugar snap peas because these are so much more delicious. Juicy, crunchy, sweet, yum. And this is the last bed of the vegetable garden. It's the most wild of the beds. We've got a zucchini on the end here. Again, not doing amazing. The powdery mildew, taking it over, hit it with potassium bicarbonate yesterday. It seems to have done a pretty good job on the powdery mildew, but again, burnt the leaves, so you know, we're learning. There's 2 tomatoes in here. Both of these were volunteers that I transplanted to this spot, so I actually don't know what they are. We're starting to get our first flowers on here, so it won't be long and we'll be probably able to figure out what sorts of tomatoes they are. There's quite a few flowers in each of the sets of blooms, so it could be that they are cherry tomatoes. I don't think I'd ever planted cherry tomatoes in these raised beds, however, so we'll find out. In this bed we also have sweet potatoes, both one on each side. This one on this side is doing a hell of a lot better than the other one, potentially because the other one is getting shaded out by all of the Asian greens, which have really taken off on that side of the bed. They're going to come out soon anyway, so then the sweet potato will hopefully be getting enough sun to start to take off as well. It's going to be interesting having sweet potato in this bed along with everything else and trying to balance that because it is already wanting to climb up this trellis and take over from the tomatoes, and I'm going to have to try and wrangle it down regularly and get it to behave. I think you can also trim the sweet potato vines, so we might end up doing that a little bit to keep them a little bit more compact. Down the end we have the Cape gooseberry. This has exploded in growth since our last tour. It is covered in blooms as well, so hopefully we'll actually get to try some of the fruit soon. We were so close to trying the fruit a couple of months ago, and then a cockatoo destroyed that one branch before the fruit fully developed. So hopefully this time around, considering there's so many on there, we might actually get some. My thoughts for where to put that final tomato that is in that first bed is probably to put it in between the Cape gooseberry and this tomato here, and so we'll end up with 3 tomatoes in a row. Then the Cape gooseberry. It's probably going to be a bit tight, but we'll see how it goes. We also have some more of the Australian yellow lettuce down here. It is doing pretty good. It doesn't appear to be bolting yet, and we've eaten quite a bit of it. We also have a row of beetroot down the front. We've got red beetroot on this side. I think it is the early wonder, maybe. And then we've got a golden beetroot down the other end. The golden beetroot is not doing as great, again probably because it's shaded out by all these Asian greens. And I've just never had much luck with the golden beetroot, which is unfortunate because I'd really like to try one. Finally, in this bed, we have the Asian greens that I've mentioned. Most of these are now bolting because the weather has definitely warmed up. Like I said, today is going to be a top of 29 degrees. Our nights are starting to warm up as well, so we're staying around that 8 to 10 degrees Celsius mark. We might get one more cold snap before the heat really sets in, but we're definitely very, very close to the cold weather being done. The last thing in this bed is the garlic. We've got 6 of those planted down the end. I don't think they've done anything. I've done a little bit of a root around and it doesn't look like the bulbs have really grown at all. So it was a bit of an experiment from ones that had popped up in the garden. Forgot to say as well that we have some pumpkins in this bed, which I'm hoping will grow from here, spilling out over this, and then go out into this empty space that we're not currently doing anything with. So I just planted them on the edge, and then I'm going to try and encourage them that way. This is a butternut pumpkin, or as I think it's called in America, butternut squash. We have the Queensland Blue, which is a really delicious pumpkin. And down here, probably getting shaded out like everything else, we have the Jap pumpkin. I don't know if you can see that there. So I really do need to just get these greens out. We're having stir fry tomorrow night. I'm going to harvest a heap of them. The rest of them can probably go to the chickens. Time to clear this bed out. There's that Cape gooseberry, looking huge. The leaves are so soft too. I didn't realize it would be like that. Busy little bees over here at the beehive, making honey for us, which is amazing. And then down here in front of the beehive we have the 4 artichoke plants that we planted together in a video. They have grown so much. It is amazing. I have a few more started that I'm going to extend the line down that way. The passion fruit vine is doing well. I noticed that there's quite a few flowers up that end, so we'll be getting a heap more fruit soon, I think. The orchard in general needs a lot of work, so we're not going to go for a full tour down there at the moment, but the macadamia tree is exploding. The apple, I think, has died. The nectarine, we covered that together in a video not long ago, so hopefully we can save the fruit from the fruit fly. And the dragon fruit has reached the top of that, so we're going to have to build the proper trellis for it now. The only other thing that's looking great down here at the moment is the bananas. But I think this will be an upcoming video soon on getting down here and really doing some work in the orchard. Well, thank you for hanging out with me on this garden tour. It was just a short one, and we've got plenty more to get done and tidy up and make it look really pretty and more productive. But there's only so much you can do in a day, and we're getting there bit by bit. I've got to run now because my son has woken up from his nap, and it is time to go and hang out with him. I hope you have a wonderful day and you get out in your own garden, and I will catch you on the next video. See you guys.